This is Talking Bullish, the new Bradford Bulls fan podcast. With your hosts, Laura Micklefield and Alan Raisin.
This week, we're looking back on some of the matches that's happened without a Bulls match this week. We will look ahead to this week's match, and we have a special guest on this week.
So, as you say, no match for the Bulls this week, so pretty predictable weekend in the Championship.
Yeah, I think I did all my predictions before the matches went on this week, and I think they pretty much went the way that I thought they would. I think the only one that went a different way was the Widnes Barrow one, because I wasn't quite sure which way that I'd go with Barrow being at home. But it's pretty much as predicted, I think.
So, just into the week's news then. But before we do, let's introduce our special guest, Molly Briggs. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome, Molly. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So, for those who don't know, Molly does a lot of social media content for the Bulls. You'll probably have seen her touchline videos when there's tries and things. Welcome, Molly. Tell us a bit about how you got involved in the Bulls.
So I've been working at Bulls now for about a year. It's literally just short of a year now. And I basically wanted to get experience with my degree because I do sport marketing at university. And I basically just wanted something to do over summer that would get me a bit of content experience and some media experience. So I sent an email to the media guy at Bulls, and within a week I was at my first training session, and then I ended up doing my first game, which was Dewsbury Rams at home last season. Since then I've done 27 games, 7 of those being away, 13 of those being at home, multiple Challenge Cup games and 1895 Cup games and things like that. So I do like the content pitch side, and I also do like the stuff at training sessions, so the TikToks and things like that, and anything that gets put up on things like that on training, getting the players involved in doing trends and things like that.
Brilliant. It seems to be making a big difference. As I noticed they had a tweet out the other week saying that our social media engagement had been up across all the platforms, like second most engaged week or something for the Bulls. And I think that makes a difference to the IMG gradings at the end of the day, doesn't it?
Yeah, IMG is obviously a big part of where the club wants to be and things like that. I'm pushing for those top positions. So I think it's a big thing for Bulls to be pushing for Super League and things like that. So IMG is a big thing, and social media content and interactions and likes and comments is a big thing.
Yeah, and I think you've obviously you're contributing greatly towards that as well. So yeah, that's great, and thank you so much for coming on here as well. Because obviously, it's nice to have you, and we're trying to obviously put Bradford Bulls out there even more as well. So that's really good and really interesting. Yeah, so we'll start with, obviously, like we say, there's no Bradford Bulls match this week, unfortunately. I was very bored. I didn't know what to do with myself. So we ended up, we came around to yours, Alan, didn't I? And we thought, we'll watch a bit of Super League for a change. So we started watching, I think it was the St Helens Huddersfield match, which was pretty one-sided. Decided we might switch over and go onto the YouTube channel to watch the York game instead, and then that turned out to be pretty one-sided as well. So I was like, I'm really missing a Bradford match this week. But we did. I suppose we did get a bit of a rugby fix, but it's never as good as when you're getting a Bradford Bulls fix, obviously.
Even when Brian No-ble was on the co-commentary for the St Helens match.
So we got to hear from Brian, and obviously his opinions on the Super League match, but. Can't wait for Friday, to be honest. It feels like ages since a match. But,
and it's an away one as well, so we won't actually get to be there in person.
And will you be going to the away match then?
I won't be. I actually go away all this week, which is ironic really, because I wasn't away last week. So this is the last game I'm going to miss this season, and every other one I'm going to be at.
Oh, that's good. So I think you were saying earlier to us when we were talking that you will be you'll be there for the Toulouse match, because I think
100%. That's my 1 year match, and I will be there. I will be there. I got asked to work the day after, and I said, No, I'm not going to be able to work this week with that.
Definitely. I'm really looking forward to that. As I say, they're just and especially to celebrate.
They're predicting it's going to be the biggest crowd of the season as well by quite a considerable margin.
Yeah, I was thinking about inviting some of my friends along as well. So
yeah, well, I've asked my parents if they want to come.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Toulouse and stuff, I was just having a quick look about obviously what the results meant this week. So looks at the table, we've got obviously York on 34, Toulouse on 32, and us on 30. But York still have the bye week to come. Obviously, they play each other next week, so I'll be keeping a close eye on that.
I think that's probably going to be the game of the season. I think, especially for people pushing for top 4, I think, especially for us as well. Like, if we're going to be in that top 2, because I was thinking about this the other week. I was like, well, if Toulouse beat York and then we beat Toulouse, well, all 3 will be on the same amount of points.
Yeah, this is what we were saying, because I was trying to work out like what's the best scenario for Bulls. So we're saying we needed York to beat Toulouse, us to beat Toulouse to make sure we definitely get second. Otherwise, it's all going to be on points difference. And then looking at points difference, York are way ahead, and Toulouse have got Hunslet for their last match.
I was going to say they've got quite easy run-ins towards the end of the season, haven't they?
Yeah, so I think I will for that one match be supporting York, just so that it's more likely that we can maybe get the second. But obviously, it relies on us beating Toulouse. But we were saying that there is still a chance that either one of them could slip up against someone else. It's just not looking very likely at the minute.
No, especially not from a York side.
No, it's at 16 on the bounce now, isn't it, for them? So. Hopefully we can finally break I used to say it was a Widnes hoodoo that we had, and I think it's a York hoodoo now. So always close though. So I think I worked out that Toulouse are currently, I think there's 29 points difference between us and Toulouse, and there's 107 between us and York. So
that would be a match, wouldn't it? If we could make that up.
Yeah. So
you never know, it could happen against Sheffield this week.
This is what I was thinking. Maybe 107 nil to the Bulls on Friday. I'd be quite happy with that. So. Sorry, 108. Obviously, we want to be.
108. So we make it more. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I say, it's looking unlikely we're going to beat York to that top spot, but you never know. Anything can still happen. I just like to say I'm really looking forward to that Toulouse match. It's probably worked out really well with kind of fixtures this season, because it does really seem to be coming down to the last few fixtures to see who's going to end up where and what's going to happen. And it's the same kind of on the outskirts of the playoff places as well. When I've been looking, it's only a few points between. I think it was between like something like 3rd and 7th or something. There's only a few points in it.
Well, I was very shocked this week. I was keeping an eye on the Oldham game because I thought, well, this is very bizarre. But Batley really put in a strong performance until that last 5 minutes where they just lost it. And I was genuinely shocked. I was looking, Batley are beating them.
Yeah.
And I was the Oldham have brought in so many players. And I've put Oldham in my now kind of, I've put them in over, I think my top 3 at the moment are going to be Bradford, York and Oldham. I didn't even have Toulouse in my, just because I don't particularly think Super League are going to want an extra French team in there. Obviously, depending on the quality and depending on obviously IMG as well, it all comes down to that. But I've now, just because I think they have made so many key signings and I think they've got quite a strong chance of being there.
Yeah, we were talking about this the other week, weren't we, Alan, and saying about who'd go, because I kind of had the say on kind of the French teams and such. And I says, it's not that I've got anything about against expansion or obviously French rugby league. It's just obviously it's very difficult for fans to get over for the matches if you're supporting a French team and vice versa the other way. It just seems very strange logistically to have 2 French teams in there. But yeah, I know what you mean about Oldham, because I think it was you, Alan, saying, weren't you, what about kind of Oldham and were they one of the ones that were going to be up there? But when you kind of look into it, I was looking at the IMG scores for the 2024, and there was something I think they were 24th or something, really far down the table. So I was thinking, unless they've done a lot of improvement.
I got stats through the other week from the proper RFL stats, and it was something like Oldham, Barrow and somebody else were just over 1,000 fans average per game versus Toulouse, which are hitting 3,000 per game. But obviously, I think that doesn't just come down to, it comes down to that obviously home and away.
Yeah.
So if you look at just say away support, it would obviously be a lot lower than probably like the likes of Bradford or like York or something like that.
Yeah, this is one of the questions we were asking, what we were saying this last week, Alan, about if the away attendance is going to factor into the IMG scores, because obviously if they're just going to go on home, it is quite skewed, because obviously some home attendance is like for Toulouse, for example, you're not going to get many away, but you are going to get large home attendance.
One thing I noticed on the commentary of the St Helens game was they had the St Helens chairman or whatever being interviewed at half-time, and he seemed to hint strongly that he was in favour of making the geographic coverage of rugby league wider, which I took to mean that he would favour a London inclusion in Super League. But I guess I didn't think of that as meaning the second French team, but I suppose that could have been the case as well.
I just think looking at like where London are in the table and like a lot of other things as well, like they just don't, it sounds harsh, but it's like a lot of their fans as well like aren't particularly happy with the way the club is at the moment, just because of the level of the squad. So I think it would be weird to see the likes of a London in there just because of like the level of the squad.
I totally agree with you. I was saying this last week. I said it's like London seem to be up there as in like IMG scores, and they were obviously last season. But the way they're performing this season, it seems so strange to think that we can get to end of a season, someone's kind of in the relegation battle who could get promoted to Super League. It just doesn't, it doesn't work in my head. Like,
I think this is the issue with IMG as well. Like, obviously people don't, it's like, if people say like, oh, London are going to be in Super League, it'd be like, well, is it down to IMG or is it down to like the squad? Because I think if it was just down to squad, you'd probably have the current top three in Super League. But if it's going to come down to other bits to like IMG and things, it might make it a bit more complicated.
And then, of course, we had the statement the other day from Jason Hurst, the Bradford Bulls CEO. Well, what was your take on that? I think he was keen on our prospects about the joining Super League.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote down a couple of notes earlier, and it just was like, he pretty much said club is ready to join Super League when they get the go ahead, like, and obviously like they want to be in the grand final, they want to be in that Super League. Like he said, like obviously he's been CEO for 3 years now, so he's seen, I'd probably say after being in the team last season, I see now like a different side to the squad. Like it's a more kind of, everybody is very collective, everybody kind of gets on very, very well. Like they all kind of hang out outside of rugby as well. Like they're not just a squad of players, they're a squad of like friends as well. So I think he's probably seen that and gone, we've got a good squad as well as like a good group of players as well. So it's like looking at that, I think is a big thing. And obviously the news about Brian as well, like, I think that's probably a massive thing to kind of coming into the end of the season as well. Like obviously they've spoken to Brian and said like, where would you like to be? And he's just said, look, I don't particularly would like to be like first point of contact for the players, but I'm very willing to stay at the club and participate where he can, really.
Yeah, we've said that in the past, haven't we, Alan? I said, like, we've said, even when you kind of see Brian doing the media stuff and such, it feels like he wants to be involved, but not kind of the front-facing person. Yeah. I think he wants to be at the club, like he's always, obviously, like it's a Bradford legend, and he wants to be around, but not as head coach. And I think he did, to be fair, I do remember, I think way back when he did, like, obviously take it up, that he did say that he just wanted to do it for the year. So I suppose it didn't surprise me when that news came out that he doesn't want to carry on. It's just obviously now who to take over. I mean, that's the thing to think about now. And obviously to keep, like you were saying, Molly, you can see that there's a cohesion in the group, and it's not just a squad of players, it's friends as well. And obviously it changes the dynamic, bringing new people in. So it's getting the right person that's obviously going to gel with that squad as it is.
And do you think that's down to Brian No-ble bringing the squad together like that, or do you think it's just the personalities in the group?
I think it's probably a bit of both, to be honest. Like I see, especially when you go out walk into training or whatever, like they're all kind of, they're either like doing bits in the gym or like walking about in the corridor, like just chatting all together. Like I think especially like, I know obviously we've had a couple of like loans players, but even the loan players have kind of come in and been kind of very much taken into the squad and things like that. Like obviously Hooley's still classed as it, not our official player, but I remember Hooley coming in and it was very much kind of like, he was like he'd been there the whole time. Like, I remember like everyone just really, really liked him and everyone just kind of got on with him. Like, Ronan's obviously, he's his first season. Like, you wouldn't be able to tell that it was his first season. Like, he obviously gets along with like Jimmy, and like we see that all over his socials and stuff. Like, he goes on holiday with all the lads all the time. Yeah. So it's like, you don't just see a group of rugby players, you see a group of friends that are just playing rugby together. And I think that's probably why the form is a lot more consistent than it probably was last year.
Yeah, I think they want to play for each other, don't they? Like you say, if you're playing with your friends, you want to play more, even if you're just kind of forced to play with someone you don't really want to play with. And yeah, I think you can see that. And I know they kind of mentioned saying it's a totally different kind of vibe completely from 3 years ago. I think squad-wise and obviously with financials and the club as a whole, like it is a different feel to it, definitely. And it's, it only bodes well for IMG, for hopefully Super League next season. Let's hope, and
fingers crossed.
Let's try and win the championship first, and that'd be a brilliant way to cap it off, to find out that we maybe got a spot in Super League afterwards. Yeah, so I was just going to say other Bulls news. I've seen hints on social media. You obviously never know, but there's hints of strengthening the squad before Thursday deadline, they were saying.
I mean, I've not specifically heard a lot of things. The main thing I keep hearing is like from fans, like rumours and stuff, and I'm like, Brian is not letting anything out. I promise you. He's not telling us anything. Like, I was speaking to one of the players and he was like, when did you know about Chris Hill? And he was like, I knew about Chris Hill on the Saturday and he came in on the Monday. And I was like, okay, like they don't even know. So it's like they're not even being told until it's finalised, until it's actually true. So I think it's the type of thing of like, obviously he doesn't want any sort of outside noise coming in, and he kind of just wants it to be very much like a bubble, which 100% I agree, especially towards the end of the season as well. Like, you don't want any sort of distractions. So obviously looking at the past games, obviously the past game we did last Friday, I think one person that really did stand out, I think Chris Hill had a really good game. Yeah. I think he really had a really good game, and I think it will be the case of like working round him though, because I did notice obviously he was doing trying to kind of offload a lot of time.
Yeah, I was noticing that, the support player.
And nobody was kind of there. And I think that kind of is something that as the team progresses and as like he progresses with the team, that will become something of a key part of, okay, if he's got the ball, he might try and offload. We need somebody behind him to kind of start an attack again.
And I think that's where you've got like you in the past, you maybe wouldn't have had people pushing up, but I think more like I always see Hooley there ready to kind of get support player things like Tom a lot more. He's doing it a lot more. I think it's like, hopefully now they know he's that sort of player and can get the offload, that we might see some more breaks down the middle. Because, I thought he had a really strong first match as well. And we're really glad, really happy with that signing, to be honest. So, it'll be interesting to see if there's any more signings. I saw one rumour about another Salford player. I think the halfback that's currently injured? I'm not sure. But I think that was for next season, maybe. But again, it's all rumours until obviously it's announced, and it's interesting to know.
Yeah, it's all very much up in the air. Like, obviously, you have a lot of people talking about it, and you get a lot of people coming in. Obviously, there's like people say like, "Oh, is Doro coming back?" And I'm like, I don't know. Obviously, he didn't play in the Hull KR game this weekend, which I was very shocked about, the fact he was 18th man. And I thought, just put him in. Like, you've seen how he plays, and obviously we don't know if he's going to come back and play the end of the season. Obviously, Hull KR have got what you would class as an all right kind of end to the season. Obviously, they do play Leeds this week, but in terms of like other than Leeds, you would probably expect an easy kind of end to it. And I think for them to sit and like go, we're just going to keep Doro, and I think obviously a lot of fans in Bradford do adore him. Like, people absolutely love Doro, so I wouldn't see a reason for him to not come back. But obviously, if Hull KR want to keep him for whenever they want him, a lot of people do want him back, and I will say that, like, a lot of people do want him back.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing when we saw him as 18th man. I was thinking like, if you're not using him, then can't we have him? But obviously I knew we didn't have a match this week anyway, so if they're going to keep using him as 18th man. But I did actually see, I think one of the forwards has got a couple of match bans, so I thought maybe that's Doro's in. And as much as I'm like, as much as I'm like, I don't want him playing for Hull KR because I want him playing for Bradford, I also obviously personally for him, it's brilliant that he's getting his shot in Super League, and I think he fully deserves to be a Super League player. He's brilliant. But yeah, I'd never say no to obviously Doro coming back, and I don't think many fans would.
No, I don't think anyone would.
I'd like to try and find a fan that won't welcome Doro back with open arms.
Yeah, so as you say, Friday night we go to Sheffield Eagles. Probably not going to be the hardest match we've seen all season, but what do you think?
I say stuff like this and then I jinx myself. So I'm always like, I've got a reputation of being like the pessimist, and I've been too optimistic lately. And I feel like I'm being quite pessimistic with my view on this, being like looking at the kind of stats, thinking I think they've only won a couple of times at home. They've only won.
I had a look early and it was like they've had 8 losses in a row, home and away. And I just thought versus Bulls that have had 6 wins out of 8.
Yeah, that's the same.
And one of those were York. So I was like, well. I think it might have been either both of them were York or one of them was York, and I was just like, well, there you go then.
Yeah, definitely. So I was very much like, this should be a win, but I always have to have that little bit of pessimism in me and be like, you never know. They've just had a heavy defeat to Toulouse. They could be really fired up. We could take it for granted. But I'm really hopeful that we will stick to winning ways on Friday.
100%. I think, especially looking at the squad as well, obviously you've now got Gilly back as well, like you've got Kieran Gill back in the squad, so it's probably back at what I would probably say is full strength, to be honest. Like I think as far as I'm aware there is no injuries to be concerned about, other than obviously the Gilly with the HIA last week, but that's not even been an issue anymore, so he's fully back in, and I think that's something to be really positive about.
It will be interesting to see who's chosen for centre this week, though, because I was kind of thinking, obviously last week it seemed, I guess correctly, what was kind of going to go on, but you knew that like Gill was out, but Tafua came back. But I think Tafua had a really good match, and it was brilliant to see him back.
Yeah, I think he had a good game. I think obviously for his first game it was probably quite comfortable to say it was at home. Like I think if it had been away, it probably would have been a bit more difficult, and I think the crowd took it really well to see him back playing as well.
Yeah.
I did something. It was like, I think it was like 215 or 254 days or something crazy. It was like that he'd not played, and I was like, the exact day that he got injured in Toulouse, it was like exactly 5 months.
Yeah, I've been wanting him back a while, and then it's like it's great that he's back in the thing. And like I say, I suppose it's a good headache to have to think who's going to get selected and who's going to get dropped. But in honesty, I don't know what I'd say this week, because I think I love Gill. I think he's really consistent and he's always plays well. And it's a matter of obviously Tafua's there and he's come back and he played really well. So it'll be interesting to see what the squad is this week. To be fair, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am.
Let's say, unfortunately, can't make it, but I'll be trying to listen on the West
Yorkshire. Will there be a video stream, do you think? Quite a few of the clubs now seem to put one out.
As far as I'm aware, we normally put them up a couple of days before. As far as I'm aware, not at the moment, but I don't know if Sheffield live stream theirs. So a lot of the time, like, if we ever so I'm guessing for Toulouse, we will probably use their live stream, or if we're going to live stream it, Toulouse fans will use their live stream. So it's like if York live stream it, a lot of the time we don't, because York fans will, like Bradford fans will go watch it on York's live stream. So it depends if Sheffield are going to live stream it on YouTube or if we are, but I'm not 100% sure yet, to be honest.
Yeah, I've not seen much about the streaming.
No, like I said, we normally
week.
post it on Instagram a couple of days before, but obviously we've not posted it this week, so maybe Sheffield are just going to live stream it, and then a lot of fans will go over to watch it on there.
But yeah, what we're thinking then, give us some score predictions. What do you think for Friday? Go on, Alan, what are you saying?
I think it'll be a win by 14.
Ooh.
Molly?
I think it's going to be 48 points to 6.
Brilliant. And I've already said 108 points to 0. But no, obviously, more realistically, I think we should put some points past this week. I don't want to be too... I'll say 36-6.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I've gone a bit higher just because obviously they've had a week off. Sheffield have had to go to Toulouse, then come back. And obviously they played on is either a Saturday or a Sunday.
Yeah.
So I'm saying what you would class
Saturday.
So it's like they will have flown back on the Sunday, training will be on Monday. They will have only had 2 training in theory, only like 2 or 3 training sessions versus us that have probably had a little bit more of a rest. I think just looking back at that,
yeah.
Well, yeah. So I think looking back at that Gill thing, like if I would have probably said he'll probably start Tafua and rest Gill for Toulouse. That's what I would probably say, just because of consistency.
Yeah.
To get Tafua a couple more minutes under his belt, but then bring Gill back, or potentially put Gill on the bench and bring him on.
It'll be interesting to see. Like I say, it's a better conundrum to have plenty of players that are playing really well and that you want on the pitch, rather than not having enough. Where like previously in season that we've had to try and cover when people are injured and such. So yeah, it's really good that we're at this stage of the year and we've got a full squad to pick from. And by the sounds of it, might be a few more faces to see as well. You never know. But yeah, so just touching back on what you said actually about the loan players as well. I know that they said that a lot of the time they're trying to find loan players with the Bradford connection anyway out there. And I think that obviously is a big thing, like you're saying, Molly, that they do keep kind of a close-knit group. Because I know you said we said like Hooley obviously came through the academy. There's obviously Fenton Rogers came back for a bit and he's been there before. Doro obviously is fan favourite. It all seems to be kind of like someone who's got a Bradford association and wants to play for Bradford, which I really like. I think it's good that obviously they go out looking for that rather than just like, oh, it's someone who's in desperate need to play, let's just bring him in, sort of thing.
Yeah, so I think it's that they take like consideration into looking as well. Like I remember because I was watching the Huddersfield game and I was like, oh, like a couple of the loan players that were playing for us are now playing in the Huddersfield team, and it was quite nice. Like I've got a bit of a soft spot for Wakefield because I spent a lot of time with Jaden Myers, so it was like I kind of have a bit more respect for Wakefield than probably like a Leeds or a Hull KR, because depending if Doro's playing, but like a Wigan or somebody like that, just because of like the association with the player and like I've met him and stuff like that. So, and like it was talks of like potentially Jaden coming back for a couple of games at the beginning, like mid-season, like when we played York, but he ended up playing in the Wakefield. It played against Leeds, so it was like we nearly got him back for a bit, but it ended up playing. So it was like, oh, okay.
I know, it's like I say, it's the same as the Doro thingy where you're really pleased for him for playing Super League,
but I'm really happy to see him playing now. Like he's playing pretty much every week, and it's really nice to see him playing.
He's playing brilliant, and it's one of those things. Like I say, I think it were Brian Noble's talk last week when he was saying if he were a Super League coach, he'd be saying something different, because you could be like, well, come play back for us again. You like being at Bradford, come back. But obviously, we're not in that position yet, so. But we'll wait and see by the end of, what is it? Is it the end of October they're telling us?
I think it'll be end of October, or be like middle of October, they're thinking. So obviously they've got to prep them for Super League, haven't they? So I think it's become a bit of a messy situation. I think a lot of no club knows at all. Like no club knows.
Just a lot guessing of what might happen. There's obviously a lot of speculation, but there's also a lot of clubs that obviously do want to kind of give it a go. So I think there'll be quite a lot of applications. So it'll just be
100%.
seeing who gets the nod, and let's hope Bradford's one of them. So
Fingers crossed.
So it's that time then. So it's time for, go on, Alan, I'll let you say it.
Bull or No-ble?
It's my turn this week. So if you both want to have a go at the Bull or No-bles, obviously you can confer with each other and decide which ones you think are the true statements and which is the false statement. So to confirm, we have 2 true statements and 1 false statement. Unlike yours last week, Alan, I've not verified these with any kind of RFL website or anything. So I could be wrong, but I'm hoping that I'm right. So in the theme of the fact that we're playing Sheffield this week, these are Sheffield-based statements. So these are the 3 statements. The first one is the Bulls beat Sheffield this season when we were at home 32-20. The second statement is 13 of the current Sheffield squad have previously played for the Bulls. And the third statement is the last time we lost to Sheffield was at home in 2023.
Okay, they're quite good ones. So
I know the first one's true.
Oh, very good.
Because I was at that game.
I can never remember scores, so I'm glad you can remember.
Well, I know for a fact we won quite by like 30 something, so I know that's true.
Okay, so I was thinking that.
I know that in I remember the last time we played Sheffield at Sheffield, it was that like crazy drop goal. But that's obviously away. So, and that was by like 1 point. It was like the craziest game ever. But I'm not sure if last time we lost to them. I don't know when the last time we lost to them.
Yeah, 23. That's, quite a while ago. But then again, having 13 former players, that's quite a high number.
Yeah.
But, not inconceivable.
No.
It's only a full squad.
I feel like 13 players seems like a lot.
Yeah.
Just with the quality of Sheffield, like.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, actually, yeah.
So we're definitely going no-ble on the first statement and then...
Yeah. I reckon, should we call Bull on the 13 former Bulls?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Well, so you think that's the Bull one?
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that the first statement of the Bulls beating Sheffield this season at home, you were correct, Molly. Yeah. That is no-ble. And as for your guess of the Bull statement, it's actually a true statement. That is, yes, the no-ble statement. The Bull statement is the last time we lost to Sheffield was at home in 2023. It was actually in 2022 when we lost 28-14. So I know, and 13 of the current Sheffield squad have previously played for the Bulls. The 13 players are Chris Wellham, Matty Dawson-Jones, Corey Aston, Corey Johnson, Reece Butterworth, Evan Hodgson, Ryan Miller, Massey Matongo, Alex Foster, Oliver Roberts, Jack Walker, Marcus Green, and Will Oakes.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I was quite shocked when I did it, because I thought of this for one of my questions, because I knew there were quite a few ex-Bulls players in the squad. So I actually got up Sheffield's squad, and then when I was going through it, I thought it's not a lot of ex-players. It's like pretty much the whole squad. It's previous Bradford players. So I was quite surprised, to be fair. So I was kind of shocked that was true when I was writing it. But good effort there though. So nearly there. And we don't often get these right, do we, Alan? No. So I had my nephew helping last week with me, and we still got it wrong.
So that brings us to the end of another episode of Talking Bullish. Thanks ever so much for listening, and thanks ever so much, Molly, new friend of the show, for joining us.
That's no worries. It's been really, really fun. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Like I say, we'd love if people obviously want to get involved or want to come on and have a chat with us, or like I say, interact with us on any social media platforms and such. Please just do get in touch, or let us know if there's anything you want to cover or anything new to do. We're open to a lot of things. We just want to talk Bradford Bulls and hopefully get some more IMG points for the Bulls with us trying to put the word out there. So really lovely having you, Molly. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's been really fun. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And then obviously come on, you Bulls, for Friday. Let's hope for a nice convincing win. 108 points. Let's get them in the bag.
Yeah, 108 points to 0. Let's go. If it happens now.
It'll be crazy, won't it? It's been said here first.
That's it. Yeah.